Hello and thank you for joining the first edition of Journalist Hangout this week. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the show, the countdown to the November 16 governorship election in Kogi State continues, where 23 candidates are jostling for the top prize. Governor Yahaya Bello's campaign for re-election as Kogi State governor got a boost at the weekend with the House of Rep member, that's James Faleke, supported the bid. And later on the show, crisis looms in NDDC as ultimatum issued by groups for the reversal of the commission to Niger Delta Ministry nears expiration. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Otitoju and Kolawole Johnson. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. We begin on the show today on a celebratory note with another feather to TVC Communications cap as our controller current and public affairs, Babajide Otitoju, has been rewarded with an award of excellence as the political analyst of the year at the African Custodian Awards 2019. So,
I need to continue to work hard to discover new things about Nigeria's political processes and development so that I will be in the position to inform our people better. The reward for hard work, they say, is hard work, more work. I want to continue to work hard so that I will justify the confidence reposed in me by the people who have given me more than 11 awards this year alone.
well, welcome back. Kolawole, political analyst of the year. Jide got the Africa Custodian Awards 2019.
I was going to ask that. Why didn't they allow us to buy some votes in the process? You know, in the public space, nothing is hidden. You're either there or you're not there because your life is open to the people every single day. So you have no hidden place. The fact is, if you truly stand for the people and you truly, as a matter of fact, ensure that fact, truth, are what you churn out to the people, it's a natural thing. The people will gravitate towards you. I think that's what you have seen very clearly.
Jide, between the period of 12 months now, how many do you have in Akiti?
I think this is the 11th or the 12th because last Saturday in Owerri I won an award, but I was not physically present because I was in Abuja on an assignment. So by my reckoning, this is the 11th one. And I'm just delighted that these honors are coming my way. It shows that people appreciate what we do because everyone talks about Journalist Hangout as a difference maker when it comes to general interest programs in our country. And we just want to continue to give our best to dish out information to our people, to go to great lengths to ensure that our people get informed and prepare them to be able to make informed choices, especially when it comes to elections, because it is the person who is well informed that can take the right decision. So I'm committed to this. I want to see a greater Nigeria, a Nigeria where nobody will be able to rig elections, because it diminishes me as a person that we have a country where elections still get rigged. We have to stop people from rigging elections. If India, the biggest democracy in the world, can conduct an election, that same day they will know who won it. Why can't we get to that point? If in South Africa,
800 million people.
Yes, if in South Africa they do elections and they don't rig it, we as a people must stop rigging elections. It is irresponsible of politicians to be rigging elections the way they are doing. It does not show that we want to make progress as a nation. So this is my message. I hope that I can contribute my own quota to deepening democracy in our country and if we can't have elections, the fidelity of which we can thump our chest over, then there's nothing like deepening democracy.
11 and still counting. We hope to get more before the end of 2019.
Who knows? Who knows what's
Now, these are interesting times at the confluence states ahead of Kogi State governorship election slated for November 16. Candidate of the All Progressive Congress and the incumbent governor of the state, Yahaya Bello, recently received the political structure of the late former Prince Abubakar Audu and member of the House of Representatives, Honorable James Faleke. The event, which occurred last week at the Glass House of the Government House, Lokoja, witnessed a large turnout of supporters. Let me just play this.
Those of us here, Excellency, are from the 3 senatorial districts. What you see here today, Your Excellency, are selected members, leaders in various polling units, wards of all the districts. Your Excellency, we are happy to be here. You did not force us to be here. Neither did we collect 1 kobo to be here. We have heard a lot, we have read a lot on the social media that you have given 1 billion to me. And I said, well, if the money is still on the way, maybe I should know who is bringing it. Your Excellency, voluntarily, these great men and women who are seated here, I left them behind some years ago and went back to Lagos. But ever since then, they have remained steadfast with us. Your Excellency, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu taught me a political lesson. And he said, if you win election, always look back to the people that make you to win election. He also taught me another lesson, that if for any reason you lose election, also look back to those who make you to lose election. We won election. You are in government. We were not in government, but we didn't leave these people alone. We remain with them and they remain with us. That is why it is easy today, Your Excellency, to bring them together by just a phone call. And they are all here, voluntarily. The protocol officer said he wants to know why we are here. Why are we here? We're here because we believe in our party. We're here because we love you. We're here because we believe in the word of God that says power only comes from God. What happened in the past to us is in the past. We only look forward for a better future. And we know you qualify to deliver a better future for the state.
Our living legends, starting from President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, the leader of APC across the country, who is laying a very solid foundation for prosperous Nigeria. We appreciate you here in Kogi State, as a government and as a people. A special tribute to the national leader, distinguished Senator Bola Ahmed Asiwaju, the Jagaban Borogu. He is the political scientist so far I am seeing in Nigeria. We pay a very special tribute to you for what you've been doing to bring this country together. You are a father, and you are a worthy father. And one thing is sure, when leaders unite and come together, what the followers should always expect are great things. And by the grace of God, we are not going to disappoint you. My brother, Honorable James Faleke, there's nothing I'll say other than to appreciate you. What happened in the past has happened in the past. It is just a test of our will. And we have passed the test. What happened in the past, if it happens to people of lesser mind, there would have been a lot of destruction. You see what is happening in our main challenger in their camp. Just ordinary primary they could not conduct. And they were killing themselves. But today, so how do you even hand over a state of this nature to them?
James Abiodun Faleke, a member of the House of representing Ikeja Federal Constituency. 4 years ago, he was the deputy governorship candidate under the All Progressive Congress, and he ran with late Abubakar Audu. Jide, this is like change in dynamics and narrative of this Kogi election, with the structure of Faleke and Audu coming to team up with Yaya Bello. It looks like the coast is very clear for Yaya Bello.
No, let's not make it look like this has made it a walkover. No, it has boosted Yaya Bello's chances. That is what you will say, not that the coast is clear. There are other dynamics that will influence who wins an election. Faleke has declared for him. He was told in clear terms by his political father, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that you have to be loyal to your party. And he has taken, despite his differences and the rubbish that Yaya Bello had said about him over the years. I remember Yaya Bello even saying he's a finished politician. He has brought his own coordinators to come and support the governor. But it doesn't mean that it's a walkover. No, no. Because Kogi by nature, the politics of Kogi is largely ethnic based. And I draw from what happened even in 1999. In 1999, the PDP governorship candidate came from Kogi West. And what happened? The ANPP at that time produced Abubakar Audu as candidate, despite the fact that the PDP was the stronger party. The people of Kogi East, seeing that Abubakar Audu, their own son, was the governorship candidate of the ANPP, decided to support Abubakar Audu, and Abubakar Audu won the election. So the people of Kogi, that's why we didn't get to listen to everything that they said at that gathering. Governor Yaya Bello was saying that, look, Kogi is changing. The Kogi that some people had in mind, where everything was based on where you come from, is not the sort of Kogi that he is trying to build. That he envisages a Kogi that is a classless society, where wherever you come from, you can aspire to any position. That's a strong statement that the governor made, which is an allusion to the fact that he knows in his heart of hearts that if the people of Kogi East decide to come out en masse, because they are clearly in the majority. They have more than 50% of the population.
As the Igala people.
Yes, if they come out en masse for their son, it's going to be extremely difficult, because when you look at the whole thing, we are looking at about 800,000 plus from Kogi East, 430,000 from Kogi West, about 410,000 from Kogi Central, which is where the governor comes from. So the governor is already,
Ibira people.
yes, the governor, Ibira and people. So, and of course, Gori and the Magongo people. So that it doesn't look like it's only Ibira so and Kogi Central. You know, of course, Kogi West too has people from Lokoja and Kotonkarfi people that they call Ibira Koto. So it's not just the Okun people alone that are in Kogi West. So you find that the governor is already in disadvantage in terms of the the population, the demographics that we are talking about. So if the politics of Kogi in this election shows signs of what happened in the past, that is people voting along ethnic lines and the rest, there's no way the governor will win the election. Okay. But if we see a departure from that, then we can safely say, with all of these people supporting the governor, with the defections that have come in, the Olafemis of this world from Kogi West, joining the governor, with Faleke and the rest of them jumping into the pit to help the governor, then he can really do well in this election.
Kolawole Johnson, I think the governor is trying to make a big statement as in making an inroad into the Igala, that's Kogi West people, as in saw over the week, we saw how the deputy governor, and he was given a traditional title, and they even presented a phantom Rolls Royce to the paramount ruler there. And by the time you are able to get the paramount ruler, that might decide where the pendulum will swing.
Well, I don't know if you're talking about today's reality in politics of Nigeria. The traditional ruler is in his palace and the people are on the street. While I'm not giving away the fact that that will play some roles, you must understand that the dynamics of elections in Nigeria is much more than what is obtainable inside the palaces of kings or any traditional rulers.
Had a lot of
I was going to mention that next.
Yeah.
In those days, you saw pastors from different places. You saw traditional rulers endorsing President Jonathan. So what happened at the end of the day? So basically, the dynamics of elections today is much more scientific. It has to do with number. And unfortunately, the politicians are getting wiser, so much that they know that it all comes to numbers. And they try to get the numbers through vote buying. But come to Kogi State, take the district one after the other and look at the possibilities of what will happen, of the outcome of the elections. Now, when you look at the voting strength of a place, you should also look at voting pattern. They are two different things entirely. You can have a large number of votes and you don't deliver a large number of votes. But when you have an area that have large number of votes, that has large number of votes, and can still deliver large numbers of votes, fear that place. That is why I think the Gala Kogi East is a place to watch. But you know, in politics too, nobody is foolproof. The team of Yaya Bello by now will be planning. You don't leave the threat zone empty, of course. Whatever you need to do to ensure that you get inroad, they do. Now, come to where you think will not even be the battleground. Kogi West, I think it will be a whole lot. You may be looking at the deputy governor. Perhaps we'll be able to do some things in that area. I think you need to look at the factor that Dino's election, November 16 too, will be happening, and that will play a major role. You know before now that when Dino was even in fact, he has defeated Senator Sam twice. When he was in PDP against APC, when he was in APC against him. And he will be playing a major role in that election. For what happened during the governorship...
the same day.
Of course. For what happened during the governorship primaries in PDP, you may likely have a Dino that may not give the full force in terms of mobilizing the people. But when his own election is holding the same day, he's going to double
his efforts.
And do not forget that it will be two sources of funds that will come, the governorship and himself. So I think for Kogi West, if I were the governor, I will plot more in Kogi West than even Igala.
You know,
Scientific.
But when you look at it now, and from the surface, even the Director General of Abelo Campaign Organization, Smarter DME, is even saying that the PDP guys, they are not campaigning, that they can't be seen anywhere.
He was saying that before November 16 was fixed.
Yeah.
Go and check his latest statement.
How can they say they are
He
not
has elections.
How can they say they are not campaigning? How can they say that? We can see signs that they are campaigning. We can see pictures from rallies. Even in Lokoja, they had their rally. So if any journalist sits down and simply listens to what Smart Adeyemi is saying, then the journalist is not serious. Smart Adeyemi should concentrate on his own party. In the last election, Dino defeated him in 6 out of 7 local governments. I still don't think he stands a chance of defeating Dino. Because if you cannot win,
the Smart
both of them come from the
APC.
same. Both of them come from the same local government, Ijumu local government, where I also originally come from before I ported to it. So, and he has not been able to defeat Dino in that local government. His own hometown, Smart Adeyemi's hometown, is the local government headquarters. Yet he could not deliver that, win that local government. So it's a tough battle for him. Let him face that rather than bother himself about the opposition. The truth is, both parties take this election seriously, and they are planning, they are working hard. For anyone to say that the PDP, they are not working hard, then that person wants to simply deceive himself. You can't talk to a Faleke now, who is an experienced politician, and hear him dismiss the PDP. No, he can't say that.
Let me add
You can't say that. They are working hard. They are campaigning.
Let me add this one.
Quickly,
now,
please.
there are dynamics also that we must consider in this election. When Dino contested against Smart Adeyemi, it was then the wave of APC against the wave of PDP that helped Dino. Now, in the last election too, that they both went to the same race. Now, there was a home state governor that the people had an issue with. That also helped Dino. But for this very one now, we don't know the dynamics that will work. So I think it should not also be for Dino to go and sit, that because he has won the, last 2 contests, he should also, in fact, he should put up his A game to be sure that
It's not simply about people hungry with a governor or people. It's about representation. People believe that Dino has represented that district better than Smart, who had more years. And the truth is, Dino has projects everywhere. Even in Lokoja, Dino refurbished schools. And remember the day he wanted to inaugurate the school that was refurbished, they sent a policeman to go and disperse. So people don't forget these things. I also want to mention how Dino mobilized senators to go and donate rice in Kogi. Do you think people simply forget those things? You understand? It's not a day to simply talk about Dino, and because they are not the issue. We are talking about the election, the governorship election. Faleke has been told the value of loyalty by the man who brought him up politically, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that's why the governor is grateful to Asiwaju today. If he wins that election, he knows that he owes Asiwaju a debt of gratitude, because for so long he was going to him, and at last Asiwaju, someone very forgiving, he agreed to support him. And Faleke too, who left Nigeria, who did not stay in Nigeria during the primaries, he was in the US, maybe deliberately didn't want to witness the APC primaries. He has now been told that, look, Abelo is your brother. Whatever he has done in the past, forgive him and work for him. And Faleke has absolutely no reason in the world to go against what the directive of his political godfather, who is a man who believes in party loyalty, party supremacy. So that is why he feels now that because he has Kogi, the truth is that the governor has Kogi Central in the bag. There's no contest of any sort for him in that area, but he wants to win Kogi West as well. And he has Faleke on his side. That naturally has boosted his chances.
Okay. Still on Kogi, PDP candidate Musa Wada has vowed to win the Kogi governorship election come November 16. He described recent defections to the ruling APC as artificial.
The number of APC decamping to PDP is so much that because we don't believe in stupid media hype, we're not playing our own on any electronic or print media. I can tell you, if there's any decamping going on, it's artificial. Maybe they'll gather some people, give them some money and say they are decamping. And in the real sense, more APC people are decamping to PDP. Because nobody in his normal sense would decamp for the sake of Yaya-Bello in Kogi State today. Go to Kogi, find out no salary payment for months, maybe 10 months, I don't know. All the infrastructures are decayed, from road to schools to hospitals. Nothing is happening. Go to the state capital, Lokoja. Take a car there if you have any motorable road in that town. So we shouldn't be playing politics with facts. We shouldn't be playing politics with people's development. So what I mean, in a nutshell, this is the worst governor Kogi ever had.
That's Engineer Musa Wada there. Kolawole, when you look at what he's saying and in terms of what is on ground, from what you've seen so far, do you see the People's Democratic Party actually, taking the day with what they've done so far, the level of campaign and everything?
Well, the PDP candidate made some assertion or made some statement. And I think he assumes that the fact that, of course, it's in the news. People know that the governor has not been paying salaries. I mean, high level of poverty in the state. Even those, in fact, there is high level of unemployment. Even those who are employed are not being paid. You may be in oppression and not know. And that has played out in a lot of places where the people believe that the government is not performing. But on the election day, Naira and Kobo comes and things change. I'm coming. In Osun State, we were there for some awareness campaign before the election. And hear this. We said, do not collect money. People say, we've been hearing that they've been collecting in the kitchen. They say, that is, we collect our own. We say, okay, if you please collect their money, don't vote for them because this money belongs to you. Say, you will die. That is, that one is not good. Once we collect, we will vote. Now, there are behavioral
They monitor them.
patterns.
They don't simply give them money.
Of course,
They
you know
monitor
that.
them.
Of course, you know that. As a matter of fact, as you're voting, that is why
You show him who you
incumbency
voted
comes
for.
into play here. Don't forget that security forces, a lot of times, they work with the incumbents, so that they monitor what you're giving, so that as you're given, in a lot of cases, it is policemen that even give them the money.
Let me quickly take this break. We'll take this break. When we come back, we'll discuss more. Please don't go away. Still Journalist Hangouts. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Still Journalist Hangouts, and we are counting down to the governorship election in Kogi State come November the 16th. Babajide, so on election day, what is likely to pan out? What will be the determinant or deciding factor for the party that will clinch this ultimate prize to get to the Lugar House?
I think it's the strategy, not simply the people that you have with you. The strategy to get people out on election day. Get people out, monitor the voting, police the voting. It's very crucial. Sometimes too, if you do not have people that you can fully trust as your agents, as your collation officers and all that, you will lose the election. You will lose the election. So it's not simply, just as my brother said, it's not simply the quantum of votes that exists in an area that determines who wins. It is the strategy. If the PDP doesn't have the right strategy, though Kogi East is where the candidate of the PDP comes from, they are not likely to win. If Yaya-Bello, despite coming from a minority ethnic group, is incumbent, he has resources, Of course, you will trust your governors. A lot of them will mobilize to go and assist him.
Yeah.
The way we see them, how they fire me, all of them, they will go there. That is the strategy now. Once a contest is involves an APC governor, you will see the El-Rufais of this world. They will go there. They will leave what they are doing in their state. They will go there to go and help that person to win. That's why I'm talking about strategy. What happens on election day? Everything that we are talking about, permutations, this and that, can be thrown out of the window. On election day, to have the right strategy. Yes. Look at what happened in Osun now. When Adeleke calmed people for the rerun.
For the rerun election.
He calmed them in their school. And what did we see? On election day, they were not allowed to enter the you took them away from there because you know that, oh, this is the battleground for the rerun. You now gathered people who had PVCs, you took them away to somewhere else. So by 6 a.m., you wanted to move them into that place, their homestead, to come and vote. And the police and soldiers were saying, where were you last night? If this is indeed your hometown, why are you trying to enter at this time, in the wee hours?
So they were looking as if
they couldn't vote.
To smuggle them in.
Yes, they couldn't vote at the end of the day.
Fair.
That is crucial. So what happens on election day? The strategy and the people, collation officers sometimes will go and work for your opponent. So if you don't have the right people, you easily lose the election.
Is strategy in any way synonymous with money? The money, the amount you can deploy.
Money is part of strategy.
It's part of strategy.
Now let me tell you, fact. If you spot a place that what you need to do is to share even money that you share in other places, you can go. But if you spot a place that you need to double the money there, you double.
You quickly send
if you spot a place that perhaps they have more population and more votes in contention, and your enemy will win. You can throw gas there. You can decide to fight.
I can predict that. I can predict that in this Kogi election, 10,000 will be shared per head in some.
I can predict violence in some places. You don't.
They will share money as much as 10,000 in some areas, crucial areas.
Per person.
What is it at the end of the day? 10,000 in look, the maximum votes that can, the total votes that can come from Kogi, maybe 500,000.
For something. If it is not rigged, for something.
If we go by the figures of the last one, about 500.
Okay.
No, the last election was.
Let's pick this our caller. I think this person is calling from Kogi State.
PDP should go and keep Kogi East so there will not be violence.
Do you still have him?
If they are wise. PDP should go and police Kogi East to ensure there is no violence. If not.
Yeah, but both groups are accusing each other of planning violence. So the APC too can accuse them of actually.
The place that has more to lose in violence is Kogi East.
You deploy violence to make sure that
my brother,
to your disadvantage of your. Yeah. Okay. All right. Moving on now. A group accountable leadership for Better Nigeria initiative recently petitioned the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami over the transfer of the Niger Delta Development Commission to the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. The group specifically drew the attention of the AGF to the constitutional breaches. They argued that the laws setting up the NDDC explicitly states that the supervision of the commission shall be under the control of the president. Julie, what's the meaning of this? I don't understand.
Yeah, this it simply means that the NDDC shall be supervised by the president, and that the power of supervision is not delegatable.
So the minister of NDDC, Niger Delta minister, cannot supervise on the behalf
he cannot
of Mr.
supervise. It's the president, because this one now is not simply supervising on behalf. You are you are bringing it under the ministry. But by the law, it cannot come under the ministry. It has to be under the presidency, supervised directly by the president.
Niger Delta Commission.
Yes, that is the law setting is of. That's what the law states.
So it cannot come under the Ministry of Niger Delta.
If the framers of the law setting it up wanted it to come under the minister, they will have put it in the law setting it up. So it's just like where the law states that okay, this agency of government shall be under the supervision of the VP. you can't then move that agency to maybe to begin to be supervised by the Attorney General of the Federation or the Secretary of the Government of the Federation. The law is clear, and that is what these lawyers are saying, that look, it is a commission that stands on its own. It is not supposed to be supervised by any ministry. And the feeling that people have is that the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs lobbied this way because he likes power, and he has decided to have this commission brought under him so that he can expand his base, expand his frontiers as a minister. But the law is the law, and we cannot be seen to be violating the law. So if the law is clear that this commission shall be supervised by the president, then the Attorney General of the Federation, as the chief law officer of our country, has to move in and advise the president to take the right action, which is to reverse the decision that the chief of staff, Abakari, and working in cahoots with the minister have done.
Kolawole, what's the political undertone to this gist?
You have asked me a very hard question. Maybe you ask in another way.
Because I know
Honestly,
when people are trying to quote law, take
See.
the things to the advantage, there's something happening. Is it about Akpabio?
Okay. Let me start from the point of law. Section 7, subsection 3 of NDDC Act clearly puts the supervision of the commission under the president. And for some people who will say, okay, the president can delegate. In administrative law, there is a principle they call it, lawyers call it. You cannot delegate what the law delegates to you in this case. Then, number 2, there is NNPC Act, where the supervision was also put under the president. But there was also a proviso that there can be a provision for an alternate chairman that you can also delegate. In the case of NEMA and other acts of the National Assembly, the provisions were made for alternative supervision or for delegatable power. But in the case of NDDC, that is not there at all. So in the first instance, the law is law. You can't even go against that. Number 2, in the memo that changed the supervision that moved the supervision from the president to the minister did not come from the SGF office. That should be the official communication route. It came from the chief of staff. And the chief of staff quoted a memo written or a letter written by Akpabio on the 22nd to him, requesting for the power of the president of the Federal Republic to be transferred to him on the 22nd of August. Are you not aware that ministers were sworn in on the 21st of August? And less than 24 hours after, Akpabio is writing a letter to the chief of staff demanding for the powers of our president. Abba, that alone should tell you that there are political undertones. You ask me, are there political undertones? So I have just told you that based on these facts and figures, there are political undertones. And unfortunately, there are information now that the Senate committee is about probing the minister. Because if what we are running for is mismanagement, and the minister is already, there is 1.9 billion naira icing stuff that they are accusing the minister for now.
As in, have they started, has it just...
What do you think snowball Kayamo out of that place? Have you ever seen that before? You were chosen as a minister?
We are not certain about that.
So
Let's
sure.
not go into
But get to books. He asks if there are political undertones. You can see clearly that there are political undertones.
Let's look
but
at
even beyond
NDDC.
that,
NDDC as an agent, just a government agency. 2 weeks ago, the president said they want to look at the books of this particular commission since 2001, and it has been like a cesspit of corruption. you know, you have executive chairman, executive secretary at the point in time. Immediately after serving, most of them, they end up being governorship candidates of one political party because immediately you serve, immediately you serve in NDDC, Oyema Ogochukwu, in those
So
days.
much money.
Yeah, so there's enough war chest to, you know, what
Remember
to,
even that one that was said to have scammed.
Yes,
And was
by
made to set
an
up
herbalist,
money.
yes.
money. Because there's so much money in NDDC. In fact, why was the NDDC set up in June 2000 by Obasanjo in the first place? Because he wanted the problems leading to agitations in the Niger Delta area addressed. And the late president, Yaradua, moved a step ahead by setting up that ministry. The Ministry of
That was to
Niger Delta
complement
Affairs,
the
which was
commission.
to complement the commission and ensure that we give attention to the problems that these people complain about. They've always said that the Nigerian state has not been fair to them. But the truth is, over the years, so much money had been appropriated to the ministry, to NDDC itself, and the money just simply went down the drain. And that's why the president is saying, look, we can't have a situation in which we give so much money for projects that are non-existent. So people have to answer questions about how they spend monies that were made available to them for projects in the Niger Delta area.
Okay, I think I'll take this break again. When we come back, we'll discuss more on the NDDC. Welcome back. We are still looking at the agitation within the Ministry of Niger Delta and NDDC. So, Babajide, before we went on that break, we were talking about, you know, the undertones. What's this group, what they really want to achieve by saying that they want the president to be supervising NDDC directly.
Yes, maybe they don't trust the minister. You know, the minister is a very controversial figure. Maybe they just don't trust him. So, and they are convinced that the NDDC will be better run, better supervised by the president. But the truth is, Nigerian presidents over the years have supervised the NDDC, but they've not been able to stop the rot at the NDDC. Because if the NDDC had been properly run over the years, Buhari would not be issuing, saying this, that I have ordered a forensic audit on the Niger Delta Development Commission with the audit of money the federal government has allocated to the NDDC. We would like to see the results on ground. Those that are responsible for that have to explain certain issues. The projects that are said to have been done must be verifiable. One cannot just say billions have been spent, and when the sites are visited, there's nothing to be seen as proof of work done. That's the president talking. Over the years, we've left the NDDC unsupervised in the real sense of the word. You know, just the way we left NNPC, you know, throughout the Obasanjo years, there was no auditing of the accounts of the NNPC, you know. So much corruption goes on at NNPC even today that you just wonder what is going on. So this is the thing. The NDDC had been neglected over the years, had not been properly supervised over the years, and that's why people see it as the cesspit, it's a cesspit of corruption, where people just come, chairmen and MD simply come, make their money, and then go fully into politics.
I think two things I'd like to contribute. First, what is wrong is not the commission itself. Like you ask, political undertones. Politicians are turning the place to where they can go. See, when they go to the commission to get contract, and they don't fulfill their part of the contract, they have the political backings. So if the president can supervise authoritatively to ensure, if we have a quarterly review, like I learned the new chairman of the committee, maybe as a rep or so, that he was proposing a quarterly review of what they give to the commission. Because again, when you talk about the debt they owe, don't forget that that as they are owing contractors, that as it stands today, NDDC is being owed over 2.7 trillion naira by both the federal government and development partners that are supposed to also give to the commission every single year. So the noise we hear is about contract that they award that they don't get to complete. But a lot of times we forget that they award contract based on expectations of money that should come in. But when those when those money don't come in, they can't complete most of those contracts. So it's a two-way thing. As we audit their book to ensure that what they have taken, they account for it, we must also restore the confidence and ensure that every development partner, both the FG and also the Shell and also and other oil companies, that they fulfill their part. Because if you look at the genesis of what gave back to NDDC, it was because the people that laid the golden egg for the country.
Jide, yes, like that's what I want to ask you, Jide, now.
Yeah.
You see a situation whereby this is the reason NDDC was set up, and many years after, it has not impacted positively on the people. And people are saying, oh, we are marginalized from Nigeria, the Nigerian government is not doing this, not doing that. And if you look at, if they audit the accounts, the amount that has gone through that NDDC and the amount that has been siphoned by the same people.
It's not much about NDDC. Now, have you taken the case of NNPC? It is our system. It is our politicians. It is not. It is like all the ministries.
You discover that those people holding position.
Do you know how much we have spent on roads? Do you know how much we have spent on roads?
I understand the point that it's making. You know, because we are not talking about NNPC today. We can do a whole program talking about NNPC. I personally do not agree that we consume as much petrol as NNPC tells us that we consume. And we can cite authorities to show clearly that we cannot be consuming that much. But we are told, yes, about more than 50 million liters a day. Fine, that's NNPC for you. It's always been known as the cesspit of corruption, you know, until when we eventually turn it to a public-private entity. Even that one will not totally banish corruption, but will reduce it, as it happened with Petrobras. At least turn it to something that can generate money for the country. What we have now with NNPC is a situation in which they continually churn out losses, and we are powerless to do anything about it. So NDDC is like that. Yeah, I agree that it's a problem that we are grappling with as a nation. Corruption has become like second skin to us. What do we do about corruption? We have to defeat corruption at every phase. When we defeat it, at every phase, then we will see a future in which even the NDDC will be properly run. But that's not what is happening. The truth is that many of the people who have held positions in NNPC, in NDDC, have used it to become multi-billionaires. So this is the thing. Everyone sees it as an opportunity. The people for which we created the NDDC and the Niger Delta Ministry, they are poorer today. They are not better off than before. They are poorer. So we are not achieving the aim for which we created NDDC and the Niger Delta Ministry because of the selfishness of corrupt Nigerian officers. So this is the situation. And we need to properly monitor the NDDC. I'm happy with what the National Assembly is doing, but we can take it further. This decision has to be reversed. We can't continue to trample on our constitution. If the constitution says the president must supervise and it is not delegatable, then the president has to reverse his decision.
Even the Ministry of Niger Delta is accused of the same thing you are accusing the NDC. So why should they go to supervise them? Number two, one thing we must ensure, as a mark, in fact, we must push, we must not allow the Ministry of Niger Delta to be the one to probe NDDC. Let the president bring independent auditors. Because they are politicians, the same people who went there that stole the money, they will protect them.
Kola Ole Johnson, thank you so much. It's been a while. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Bikio, welcome back. You left your people for like 2 weeks.
Yes, for the good of everyone.
Okay.
For the good of everyone.
So Bikio is back, and once again, congratulations for your award. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on our platform showing on the screen. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. God bless Nigeria and bye for now.